Hey.
Hello, Commissioner.
Howdy. I just saw your neighbor.
Oh, it's not. Oh, we have a quorum.
He can't make it today. He won't be here.
Oh,
Okay, I'll call this to order. We'll start with Hannah for roll call.
Hannah Dix.
Donna Jackson.
Butch Freeman.
Brian Munn.
Danny Lambert.
Dan Matthews. Keith Block.
Keith, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Beautifully done, Keith. Is there a motion for the minutes of Monday, June 27th?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any individual consideration on the consent docket? Oh, did you hit your buttons?
What button?
Okay. All right. Butch hit second.
Well, it shows on his screen.
Oh,
Doesn't show on mine.
Okay, I'm just gonna second it so we can get on with it.
No, it's not running.
Okay, we're having technical issues.
Appreciate your patience. We are trying to use the system the way it's intended.
All right, everybody vote.
No, I don't have a voting screen.
You don't count.
okay. Oh, didn't pop up.
Have we sworn him in? I mean, do we even know? Okay. Before we go on, an official welcome to our new member, Dan Matthews, by the way.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving.
Did you ever work here? Yeah, one time I did.
I thought you looked familiar.
Yeah. I did it one
Okay.
time.
Any individual consideration on the consent docket?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Donna, did you hit your button?
I'm trying.
Danny, you're right. This system is impressive.
We'll get there. We'll get there. If I can get it to
Doesn't
work.
like it.
I got it
Oh,
to
dear,
work.
I got it.
Well, one of us got it to work.
Okay. All in favor, say aye.
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 Did we ever, I was gonna say, we never did vote. There we go.
I did the second because it was working on mine.
Good.
Remember, the key word here is patience.
You gotta be kidding.
Okay, Danny, the Oki Forfeiture Report.
All right. It is attached if you want to pull it up on your screen.
You gotta be
All right,
kidding.
thank you.
Or we can pull it up on the big screen, the attachment, please. So the forfeiture account, we ended the year with $1,035,000 in this account. We have forfeitures that totaled $1.1 million for the year, and we moved $800,000 out over as a redirect to the defined benefit plan.
Questions of Danny? Is there a motion?
I move to approve. Am I supposed to hit motion?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
please.
Comes up withdrawal motion, so.
Yay.
All seconded by Keith. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Okay, the defined benefit retirement plan report.
All right, same thing. This is attached. We can pull that up also. I just wanted to point out, this is the quarterly report, of course, at the end of June 30th, 2022. On the far right-hand side, you can see where we moved $800,000 from the forfeiture and $800,000 from general fund. That's $1.6 million that was put into this fund. And if you look further down, we only spent a little less than $1.3 million for the year in benefits and administrative expenses. So we're putting more money into this plan than what we're paying out. We ended the year with a $6.4 million market value balance. Looking back at last year, we had less than that. We had $6 million, and even less than that the year before. So by moving $1.6 million in here, we're building this balance up. So I don't know if this board would want to consider maybe not moving as much from the general fund going forward, since we are building and increasing a balance in this account. But just something to talk about.
How many retirees are now?
That's what I was gonna ask. Mark, how many we got left? 97?
88? Okay.
How many?
And we're paying out
88.
$97,000 a month.
Okay, we got 88 retirees left on the rolls.
With $97,000 coming out a month.
Oh, 97,000 a month. Okay, but so it's 88. All right. That's what I'm looking for. The budget has already been approved.
Yes, sir.
How much did we put in there to be transferred?
The same amount, 800,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll kind of keep that in our back pocket. At least I'd recommend we do. You know, as the year progresses, we'll find something.
Right. Of course, we'll have an actuary study here in a couple months that'll
Yeah, that's good.
help us determine the funding levels.
Okay.
Right.
Mark, have you got some?
I've got something to add to that. The Board of County Commissioners back on the 15th, I believe, agreed to settle a $1.2 million suit for over at the jail. So we're going to be writing a check as soon as the attorneys for the representatives of for the suit, we're going to be spending $1.2 million to purchase the judgment.
You ought to purchase the judgment. We're not paying the judgment. We're buying the
We're
judgment.
buying it, so you can reduce that total by 1.2, but then we'll have it on our books as an asset.
As an
Still a
investment.
collectible asset. So it's
Yeah,
still
that's
an
still an asset.
And what
Okay.
interest rate are we getting the judgments at now? Look, anybody know?
5.25.
I can't go to the
Yep.
bank and get that.
And then it'll be higher next year because of the Federal Reserve raising the prime the last two times. But what we base it on is what statute says, and it's the first business day of the new year as published in the Wall Street Journal, and it's prime plus 2%.
So it will go up
It'll,
significantly.
yeah, with the change, with the up increases, but it won't be effective till January 1st.
Again, till we get the actual report back, we're not really sure where we are. As setting on this thing for years, the only thing I gotta say is you guys have done a great job of managing it, but we've always been way underfunded. But with a defined benefit plan, what you want to do is pay out the last dollar to the last beneficiary on the last day and not have anything left over, because if it is, it's a mess. So maybe we slow down the funding. And then I'd also think that because Danny, you had said in the past, we've been moving this money out, at some point, this is not going to be necessary for us to not only move as much money from the plan but over to this plan at some point, and maybe there needs to become at least a plan put in place down the road so we don't have to screw around and make a decision. Because at one point, whatever million actually belongs to the employees of the county does not belong to the county, because forfeitures usually are either shifted over to the other plan, or we probably consider moving them back to the employees, using it for the employees. So there needs to be at some point down the next 2 or 3 years, we need to come up with a plan. I move to accept.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Say aye.
Aye.
Who did the second?
I did.
Press the second, please.
Got to push your button.
Push your button.
There's a
Thank you.
call I need to take. Can you take over the meeting?
I'd be happy to. Okay, at this time, we're going back to the Big Chief tablets and a pen. We'll no longer be using this crap. All right. Okay, so whatever we are on, actually now we're at the good point. We're down to where we're going to get to consider the DC retirements. And item number 9, the first one, Alig? How's it?
Oleg.
Olig.
Shelley Oleg. She works for the county clerk's office
Okay.
for
Look at
17 years, and she qualifies for retirement.
Move it.
I'd like to second that motion and just say Shelley was an awesome employee in our office for many years. We're going to miss her.
Okay, that's great. All right, so we have a motion and a second. No further questions or comments. All in favor? Aye. Okay, next is item number 10, retirement request in the defined contribution retirement system from Miss Melissa Baker, and I believe she is in IT.
She is. She spent a lot of her career at the sheriff's office, but she's been here a total of 31 years.
Oh, so this is a Melissa that was in.
Yes, sir. So she's been here 31 years, and she qualifies for retirement.
Make a motion?
Second.
Hey, we got a motion and a second. Further questions, comments? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. All right, moving on to item number 11, retirement application, DC plan on behalf of Vanessa Eaton.
Correct. She's a court clerk employee, and she's been here long enough, and she qualifies for retirement.
Motion approved.
Second. Second. Beat me.
Okay, we've had a motion and a second. All in favor? Aye. Please vote to confirm your aye. Number 12, Bob Mauer. I
Yeah,
cannot
Bob's been here a
believe it.
long time,
I can't believe Bob Mauer. He actually ran for assessor one time.
really. So he's been here, if you round it up, 33 years. So he qualifies for retirement.
33 years and he still looks as young as the day he started work. I do not know how that works. Ladies might, but I don't. All right, we got a motion and a second, do we, or don't we?
Motion?
Okay,
Second.
okay, now we got a motion and a second. No further questions, comments, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Please vote to confirm your vote. Motion passes. Item number 13, DC retirement plan request from Carl Cargill.
Yeah, Carl's been here a long time as well in the assessor's office, along with, Bob. So he qualifies for retirement.
Have motion? I'll move it.
Yeah. Second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second for the retirement request. If no questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Do what? Punch the second? Oh, motion.
Yes. Thank
Okay. All right, I think we've already voted, so if you would, vote electronically now. And, all right, item number 14, that takes care of the retirements, is John to come up and give some really good information about whatever the company it is that we just changed to. Yeah.
From utilization and implementation side, we were the most complex case Bank of Oklahoma had to implement ever. So put that in perspective of all their thousands of clients. But I think things are rolling well now. Everything seems to be doing good. James is here for an update kind of on their end, what they're working on and where they're at.
Yes, and so John's correct. I mean, we're at the point now through the conversion where we're working on very specific issues, and usually very specific to a single participant. And so the one thing that we're still working on right now is the self-directed account platform. We've rolled out a major enhancement for you all, and this is the first plan that we've taken it live on a holistic basis. And so we've been learning a little bit along the ways, but for everybody that is doing regular SDO transactions, I think everything is operating smoothly now. The single sign-on was rolled out, so that was a really big benefit for participants that utilize that feature. We have one participant we're still working on some very specific items for. But we have had interest in the self-directed account beyond those that came over from InvestTrust. Another thing, the loans seem to be working very smoothly. Participants seem to be really enjoying the paperless process. Since the plans have gone live, we've had 33 new loan requests. And speaking of loans, we're excited to roll out the loan consolidation starting next week. I know John sent out the email this morning letting everybody know. And as the board approved last month, we're actually going to keep that open for 4 months. It's been a couple of years since that's happened. And so we wanted to make sure to give individuals that window for the December when they typically like to do it right around the Christmas and holiday time. So, but Griffin, who is my client account manager, has already worked with about a dozen participants this morning, letting them know what their options are. And so we're really excited about the loan consolidation feature just from this aspect that I know that participants are really looking forward to that. The next kind of step as we continue to work through just some of the single options that we are is we have a formal review process. And so I was kind of hoping to get the board's feedback is for plans this size, we usually like to do at least 2 formal investment presentations and talk about the investments inside the plan as well as covering demographics. We don't want to come out here and just make a presentation when we have a recommendation to make. And so I didn't know if the board would be open to semi-annual official reviews or if you would like to do quarterly or what that would look like, because we would be ready to do our first full investment consulting review starting at the next meeting at the end of August if the board would be up for that.
But I think we need to make this available to our members also. So what does the board feel about that? And what we could do is we could go ahead and meet as the retirement board, get the word out, and then invite anyone who would like to come in for the presentation to do so. Or we could just hear it ourselves, so it's up to you all.
Well, the meetings are streamed, so
Okay.
if the notice gets out, individuals could sign on and watch it online as well.
That's a great suggestion. And anybody who wants to, is obviously, it's an open meeting, is
Right.
welcome to come in and sit down anyway.
James, as I said, one of the things, since we're in this kind of transition period, I would probably every 6 months would be good after we get through this period. So I would say if you wanted to say, okay, we want to do a quarterly investment review next month, and then do another quarterly, and then let us sit back after doing a couple of quarters, and maybe we back down to semi-annual. The only reason is, our participants have been through quite a bit with regard to their accounts, and let's be honest, we knew this day was coming and we got it done. It's virtually done, all over with. So let's give them something back in return with regard to this investment review. And if they will publicize it, put it on the signs, if we fill the place up or we have to go someplace else to hold the meeting, we will. But I'd like to see it happen, and I'd like to see it done quarterly, just until we get a feeling of settled. We're all settled in. Then we'd go to 6 months.
Yeah.
I think 6 months is plenty, but initially I'd probably do quarterly just to keep
Okay.
a little foot in the door.
And we can absolutely accommodate quarterly, especially for somebody as important as the county is to us. One thing that I did forget to mention, that John and I have been working on this as well, and we've been out to the sheriff's office already. But we are working on rolling out education for the Oklahoma County participants. We have an education consultant that can come in and do group meetings. And so while the investment reviews that we do here are a little bit more formal than maybe what they would do for education for participants, they're absolutely welcome to come in and sit on them. But we also are working on rolling out education. We do have a financial advisor whose name is Jessica Jones. I believe some of you have met her. I've brought her out here at least once. But she's going to be setting up appointments to go sit down and talk with individuals one-on-one. And so we are going to look at doing group meetings, WebExes, on-demand videos as well. Just as as you pointed out, Keith, we really do want to roll out education for participants. And so that is going to be something that we're going to focus on in conjunction with these meetings as well. And then I know there was a lot of interest from the sheriff's office for Jessica to come out and just be available for one-on-ones. And so we're going to work on getting all that rolled out as well. And so there'll be, education, especially participant education, is critically important to our organization. And so we have the resources to provide that. And so that is something that we're going to be doing in tandem as well, because participants learn different ways. Some learn by, reading something. Some prefer, sitting down and listening to somebody talk. And some people don't like asking those questions in public, so they like to sit down with somebody one-on-one. And so those are some of the resources that we have. Again, we also have the ability for participants to come in and meet with Griffin if they just need help or navigating the website and everything. But yeah, we will absolutely be rolling out education as well.
And did you say you were going to roll out like video type or WebEx type education? I have a lot of people who are on like overnight shifts and things like that, so that'd be really beneficial to us if you had something where they could do it on their own time.
Yeah, we have WebEx, we have on-demand, we can record presentations if we come out and do a group presentations. We don't have to meet, our education team, we don't have to meet from 8 to 5. And so if there's evening meetings that are required, or if there's, very early meetings that are required, we're happy to accommodate that as well. And so, but yeah, we're going to start working with John and his team on formalizing a rollout of that for hopefully later on this year. And that way participants can start getting that interaction as well.
Great.
John, does the sheriff's office still like a 3 a.m. briefing?
Again, I have team members that are experts at these types of meetings, and so they're much better presenters than I am.
Yeah, you touched upon this 2 or 3 times, but my question was going to be, are you getting comments, calls from our participants, and what are most of the calls about? I'm going to assume, based upon what you said, it's probably about how soon can I consolidate my loan.
Yeah, and so we have our Participant Services Center, who's kind of our front line, and really the main questions so far that they haven't been able to answer have been around, the loan consolidation, just because we want that running through our office until we automate that next year on the website. And then just really, helping participants get logged in, just making sure that our data is accurate and that, phone numbers we got from InvestTrust aren't stale, but John and his team have the ability to go in there and make those changes. And so a lot of it's just functionary type items that we're getting questions on. And the very specific questions that we're working on more relate to individual SDO participants and, some things that they're wanting to trade. And so we're working on that.
Other questions?
I was asked by someone if we were going to be sending them something out to show what their final retirement plan was from InvestTrust and then the transition. I know that you guys will send out an initial, statement to show what was transferred. And then what I encourage them to do was just to review their last quarter on InvestTrust and call if they had any questions. But will we be sending anything that mirrors that specifically?
So we did. So typically when there's a short conversion, like when you only have 2 weeks, we'd wait till the third quarter to send out statements. But just given the transition, we went ahead and sent out second quarter statements for that period from 6/14 through the end of the month. So they'll see what the balance was that came over from InvestTrust. They should receive a final statement from InvestTrust with a zero balance that shows the amount that was transferred up, and those numbers should hopefully match to the penny.
Great.
So.
Thank you.
And then, and not everyone likes to log in, of course, and look at their account online, but online has the ability to look at all that stuff and run reports on every single detail about their account details too.
But I think the question was, and it's a really great question, I want to be able to compare the exit dollars from InvestTrust with the entrance dollars at BOK.
Sure.
I think that's what we're looking for.
And we're really not contracted anymore with InvestTrust, so they're not going to provide us with that information. It would have to come from Bank of Oklahoma.
Yeah, and I would think that InvestTrust will send out a final statement showing a zero balance. But they should, on their InvestTrust account, they should see the amount that was transferred out during the blackout period and then the initial amount that was deposited from the InvestTrust files. And so those two numbers should match.
Because if they don't, we get, I'm sure they will.
I'm fairly certain that they will, yes.
Okay. Oh, did you check?
I did check.
Well, you're just not a very trusting soul, are you?
Trust but verify.
All right, any other questions or comments? Thank you, BOK.
Yep, thank you very much.
All right, citizens' participation. Are there any citizens who'd like to participate? No one signed up, seeing none. Board comments. Keith Block.
I'm just glad to be back, and thanks to all the people of Oklahoma County that helped out the Edmond Police Department the last 3 or 4 days.
Yeah.
Because I noticed there was a lot of sheriff's cars in the Edmond Police Department's parking lot this morning. So
Tragic,
they were helping
yeah.
out. I think they're a little busy today.
Mr. Matthews, welcome aboard officially again.
Thank you. I look forward to serving on this board and representing the retirees, being one of them.
Mr. Lambert.
I think we need to go back to 14 and vote to receive the update.
All right. Let's go back to 14. Somebody make a motion.
I'll motion to
Okay.
receive it.
We got a motion.
Second, either one.
Second. Okay, we got a motion and a second. Thank you for bringing that to our attention, specifically mine.
Everything has to be voted on.
Okay, thank you. Anything else, Danny?
Thank you. No.
Okay. I don't have anything.
Nope. None for me.
And your boss says, what, the end of July or
August 19th.
August 19th?
Yeah.
My goodness. Okay. No other board comments? Is there any new business? Seeing none, do we have a motion?
Adjourn, as usual.
Okay.
I usually jump on.
All right, did we get the second to adjourn?
Second.
All right, we are adjourned.
Got to vote.
I ain't gonna vote.
Got to vote to leave.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you leave until you push the buttons.